guys, and welcome back to another Premier League recap. What a season of football! So many goals in this second week here, but we are going to get started. I have my brother here with us. Let's get started here. Chelsea vs West Ham, man. 5-1. Absolute craziness. Graham Potter's going to get fired soon, probably. I predicted 3-0. You predicted 2-0. It was a 5-1 stomping with a lot of goals, obviously. West Ham with that Paqueta goal from 0.01 XG though was kind of nice. Um, any thoughts to add to the game?
Yeah, this game, Chelsea, I didn't. Well, I put 2-0, even though I said they probably would score. I expected them to score a lot, but I was quite conservative. John Pedro goal, I did say he was probably going to score, and I expected an Esteban assist, so I got those things like right. But yeah, Chelsea a much better team. West Ham very frail, and probably will probably fight for relegation. And Graham Potter will be gone probably by Christmas.
I think even sooner than that if they keep up with this results. Um, we can go over to Tottenham and Manchester City, which was another big game. And Tottenham unexpectedly went to the Etihad Stadium and took all 3 points with big mistakes from James Trafford. Is this the end? I mean, he started what 2 games? Is probably not gonna start anymore. Probably Edison's coming in next week or Donnarumma. I don't see James Trafford starting another game after that performance. But Tottenham really good start to the season. Haven't conceded a goal. Only team of Arsenal that haven't lost a game or drew a game yet. Both the rivals are at the top of the table, haven't conceded a goal, and both wins. Which is, oh, actually, Liverpool also won both, right? But they conceded a lot of goals, so we'll get to them soon. With Charleston assists, another one of Brazilian impressing. So, anything else to add?
Yeah, I mean, this game we predicted both Man City wins. I predicted 3-2 for City, and he predicted 2-1. We didn't expect on him to get the away win, but it was much. Tottenham just managed to get the chances in the back of the net, while Man City just couldn't get that goal. And yeah, I think Donnarumma will probably be playing by next week. It seems like the deal they have agreed terms. It seems like it's very much just a few little things, and they'll get Donnarumma in, and then Addison probably leave.
Yeah, I mean, they seem to really need a goalkeeper because obviously Edison is gonna potentially leave. But jumping over to Bournemouth versus Wolves, probably one of the games that went more according to our expectations here. I predicted 2-0, you predicted 2-1. Bournemouth did win 1-0, which sounds like a close game, but Bournemouth could have probably scored more in that game. Um, red card for Wolves as well. So I forgot who scored that. Was it Semenyo? Who scored that goal?
No,
No,
he's assisted.
It was Travenier. Yeah, yeah, Travenier. And
Yeah, it was a main assist.
Semenyo assist, which is good for us on the fantasy. But yeah, pretty boring game there. I mean, early goal and then a red card, and that was about it. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
let's
This
move.
game was very much. I think very. Our predictions were this was like the right game. Just a one goal difference. I thought Wolves had a bit more teeth to them, but they proved to be like completely inept, especially with the red card. Just took away any chance of winning or even doing anything. So Bonif dominated the game and just got away with the 3 points. And this is looking quite like a good start for Bournemouth.
Yeah, definitely like a good team so far, even though they have had so much change in that back line. But going over to Brentford Aston Villa, probably the most shock result, maybe. I'm not sure. I think Brentford come off the first game of the season really poor, and then Aston Villa, who having some issues scoring, maybe need to bring some players in. I've heard that they're looking at Nkunku, they're looking at Jackson as potential reinforcements. They do need some reinforcements. I just feel like Ollie Watkins just can't find the back of the net for a few games now. Even last end of last season, he was struggling. Um, but yeah, Aston Villa dominated 79% possession or something like that, and they couldn't score. Brentford get all 3 points, and that is unexpected. Our predictions were not thinking like that. You had a draw. I had a Aston Villa win. Brentford take all 3 points home. Anything from you?
Yeah, this was a result. I expected the draw. I expected just know. I just had a feeling Brentford was gonna take some points here at home, and just playing probably very much solid back, solid defensive team. But in this game, they actually had they had less of the ball, significantly less of the ball. But they managed to get their chances and score when they got the chances. Whilst Villa just failed to do that. And so yeah, very disappointing from Villa. Very bad game, and this is a very worrying start for Villa. A draw and a loss. Loss to Brentford. That's we expect to be a lower ranked team. So, and then a draw to Newcastle, I think, last week. So Villa is looking really poor at the moment.
Yeah, they
But
do
we'll see
need.
Brentford, and maybe this is kind of maybe this means a surprise. I don't know. I think this is more of a fluke rather. I think
Yeah,
they'll still be a bottom feeder.
yeah, for sure. I agree with you. I mean, 80% possession for Aston Villa. They should be scoring. And then we move on to the next game, Burnley vs Sunderland. Oh, this was not what we expected coming into this game. Sunderland, I predicted 2-0. I mean, I was somewhat correct in my prediction here. Just the wrong team. You predicted a 0-0. So yeah,
Yeah,
Sunderland really underperformed here. Burnley absolutely just controlled the game and took the game to Sunderland. But you did mention last time that Burnley historically in the Championship they were better than Sunderland. So good on you there for that.
yeah. I mean, this I predicted. I expected it to be like Burnley struggle to probably get a few chances, but struggle to get that ball in the back of the net. It was a game that's very much not a great game. Burnley had less of the ball, but they did have in terms of shots, they had less shots as well. But they managed to get them into the back of the net, while Sunderland didn't. And I mean, this is all that makes a difference. This Burnley side is probably going to be, it's always going to play like this, very tight in the back line, especially against the big teams. So I think Burnley will, if they don't get relegated, they will need to get the 3 points in these matches
No.
against poorer teams. But yeah, this is just what Burnley and Sunderland is all about. Sunderland, a good first game and a bad second game. Oh, great for them.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean all three relegated promoted teams have now got 3 points on the board. So really interesting to see. This could be the season where someone actually stays up potentially. Going on to the next team that got promoted, Leeds versus Arsenal. What a game that was. I predicted 2-0 for Arsenal. You predicted 2-0, and it was a 5-0. Honestly, Arsenal, I'm still not convinced. I feel like a lot of set piece goals, a lot of like goals of individual talent. It, yeah, maybe I'm just putting the keeping the expectations low, but yeah, I feel like 5-0. I mean, I think what was it? 3 goals that were from set piece, or 2 goals from set piece and one
I
penalty.
think,
Um,
yeah, one is a penalty for sure. I don't. I know Gyökeres' first goal wasn't. It was open play. I think there was a goal from.
Uri Timber, both of them were from corners. Saka scored
Okay,
one,
yeah,
but then
Timber.
Saka got injured, and then Martin Odegaard is also injured now. So 2 big blows for us. It's already maybe a little bit worrying for our title fight, but we have some good backups there. Marino is going to come in, and Madueke is going to be playing in Saka's position, is what I expect. But 5-0, I mean, Leeds, they had a few chances, but David Raya, man, he's a great goalkeeper. Just nothing to be said there. But yeah, 5-0. Victor has scored 2 goals now. So I'm still not really convinced by him. I just feel like he's a little too slow on the ball. But maybe we'll see more goals coming from him. Anything to add for this Arsenal Leeds game?
I think I expected Gyökeres to score. I expect this game to be a kind of the where Arsenal really breaks, start to score a lot more. But I did predict only a 2-0. But yeah, this was very much what I expected. Arsenal dominating the ball, dominating the game, and just finding the net back of the net. It's just that they found the back of the net more than I expected. But I did expect Gyökeres to score, and let's see how he goes on from there. But yeah, Arsenal's looking good. I think keeping the clean sheet for 2 games in a row. Defense looking good. They got good. Calafiori is looking good. Timber looks like good as well. I mean, the injuries were not great, but yeah. But in terms of Timber has been injured a lot last season, so it's good to see him playing. And Calafiori has been a great addition. So Arsenal's looking good. I think this is a great start for them.
Yeah, and then we move on. Let's skip the Everton 2-0. Let's just talk about the draws. Crystal Palace, Nottingham Forest, Fulham, Manchester United. Crystal Palace, Nottingham Forest. Pretty much, it was a tie game, close contest. I could have seen either team take that. Um, and then the Fulham Manchester United game. Obviously, the big highlight there will be the Bruno Fernandes penalty, where the referee bumps into him, and he's like, he said the he said in the pregame interview that like he got thrown off by the referee bumping into him, which is just kind of like, okay, that's interesting. Um, but yeah, what are your thoughts on that one? Cause I gotta go in a few minutes here. So this,
I think the main problem here, I think Nottingham Forest versus Crystal Palace very much like a tight draw. Both teams tend to play in the counter, so it was very much a game that was going to be difficult to see any team score, especially with Palace having a good defense. But yeah, Palace struggled without Eze, and Nottingham Forest didn't manage to click there. So in general, not a bad game. Just I think a draw that probably should have expected a draw in this game, but I think I went for a 1-0 for Forest, so that was a bit of a mistake. Fulham versus Man United, I expected a draw here, but 2-2, with a 1-0, 1-1. In general, a decent match. Man United is struggling to score, and Fulham still picking up the pieces. I mean, it's not a bad game to get a point off, but definitely I think they could have got a bit more. They're not terrible games.
yeah, yeah. I mean, Fulham. They at the second half they were really stepping it up. They could have probably won the game in the second half. And then we go to Everton and Brighton, their first game in the new Everton Stadium, and great performances all around from Everton. I mean, you see Jack Grealish, and last week I was telling you that I didn't know if he was good enough anymore, but 2 assists in that game, player of the match, set up Gardner for the second goal, and set up forgot the name of the first guy that scored, but Brighton kind of looked they didn't look that strong, and I'm a little bit worried for Brighton because Danny Welbeck missed a penalty. They didn't seem to have much going for them. Bitoma had a really nice little chance there where he hit the crossbar, but I don't know. This Brighton team, they bought a lot of like young players, and maybe they just have to like tolerate this mid-season. Um, maybe they'll ramp up. Maybe this early season is gonna be tough for them. Um, yeah, any thoughts there?
Yeah, I think Brighton made a big. I think Everton side played much better. Grealish a bit more, definitely putting a bit more of attack. Good performance in the attack, which is what Everton has struggled with. Well, Brighton actually had more of the ball, and they also had a higher XG, more chances, big chances, more shots as well. So Brighton definitely had a very keen had a part in the game, and they definitely. It's just that Brighton will struggle with the attack after João Pedro's left. Lost a few pieces. Welbeck obviously is aging a lot as well, so Brighton just needed a new forward, and they didn't buy one. So I think this would be their problem because this game is a game they probably could have. They probably their XG says they should have scored 2 goals. They scored none. So
Yeah, yeah, you
in
gotta
general,
take
I
into
think.
account the penalty though. The XG of a penalty is like one, so there's a
Okay,
little.
yeah,
It
but
might be a
still,
little
it
bit.
would be.
It would be a close
Still, they
game. It was a
probably
close
should have
game.
scored at least one.
Yeah,
Probably scored at least one. But yeah.
Also, big props to Pickford. I mean, that guy has been at Everton for so long, and he's the England number one. And honestly, so many people slate him for being like having short arms, but he's been doing really well for Everton this start of the season. And then we go to the big,
He's a good goalkeeper.
and then we
He's a
go
good
to the
goalkeeper for Everton.
yeah, he is. I mean, I expected him to make a move to one of the big six, but not yet. And then we go to the big game, Newcastle versus Liverpool. This game, I saw Liverpool score 2 goals and a red card, and I kind of just switched it off because I thought Liverpool were gonna just run away with the game. So I can't say I watched. I did watch the highlights after, and I was shocked that Newcastle scored 2 goals, pulled it back to 2-2 before just kind of opening up. I mean, you watch that last goal, and no one's marking the Rio, the 16-year-old. He's literally by himself, and it's Szoboszlai with a nice little fake, and then it's basically him against the goalkeeper with no one around him, and it's just such a simple finish. So Newcastle, I mean, they fought so hard, and I think they were a little bit tired towards the end there because playing with 10 man for half the game is tough. But I mean, maybe showing some weaknesses on Liverpool's side. Conceding 2 goals to a 10 man team that have no striker. Maybe a little bit worrying for Liverpool, but man, Hugo Etekite, that guy is just on fire recently. Like, maybe he's gonna be the top scorer of the league. You never know. What about you? What about your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I think this was a difficult one because Newcastle, that red card took away any sort of attacking edge they could have.
I still need just 2 more minutes, but I'll put my shoes on and everything.
But yeah, Anthony Gordon, this is not the first time he does something stupid and gets a red card. He seems to be like strikers don't usually get red cards that many, but Anthony Gordon, I think last season he got a red card for pushing a player, I believe, and this season also a straight red card, very stupid, impacting the team. A home game, you're 2-0 down, but it's still you could always do something, but so much harder with someone off the pitch for something like that. Makes it harder to defend as well. They managed to get 2 goals back, but Joelinton got injured as well during the second half. So not looking, that's a big uh, person to replace in that midfield who's really being stable. So it's looking really, really sad for Newcastle. This is not a great result. They already had a poor result in the first game as well, so it's not looking good for Newcastle, especially with losing some players. Isaac's still out because he wants to. He wants to leave. Joelinton injured now. I mean, they got massive issues, and I think Newcastle will be in the will have a very difficult season this time. And Liverpool, I mean, again conceding two. They're looking frail in the defense department. I mean, they have scored a total of 4 goals in 2 games. They scored 7, but in general,
Yeah, but
they score. That's against teams that like
Bournemouth
Bournemouth.
and Newcastle, yeah, not like the big teams that. I mean, both those teams like they don't really have that quality striker right now. I mean, Evangelison, he hasn't been scoring that much. But you look at the table here just before we end this. West Ham sitting in last, -7 on goal difference. Wolverhampton Wanderers -5. Brighton in 18th with 1 point, and then Aston Villa, Manchester United, Newcastle United, Crystal Palace, Fulham, Leeds, Burnley, Brentford, Bournemouth, Everton, Sunderland in 7th, Manchester City in 6th, Nottingham Forest in 5th, Chelsea, Liverpool, Tottenham, and Arsenal. Not what we expected at the start of the season, but 2 games in, and I think West Ham are going to fire their manager very quickly if this keeps happening. Um, I think that any other managers, maybe Manchester United manager, should be under the watch as well for a firing because that guy, after every game, he says, "Oh yeah, yeah, we played really well and we can beat all the teams," but you're not beating anyone. Like you haven't. I saw a crazy stat the other day where he has 29 games in charge of Manchester United and 28 points gathered in 29 games. It's literally like it's not it's not he's probably been the worst manager for Manchester United in recent times. So um, yeah, crazy to think about. But what are
Yeah,
your
but
thoughts? I have to get going in like a minute or so. So just quick summarizing and an outro.
yeah, I mean things are looking quite interesting. Wolves, I think another one that their manager might be in the firing watch as well. There's quite a few. So there are quite a few. I think Man United, definitely their manager is looking very shady. We'll see. Burnley is a match they should be winning at Old Trafford, so maybe they can break the duck there. But yeah, in general, a very interesting, especially the teams we did not expect to be doing too well. The three teams that came up, they won at least one game already. So it looks like we will get a relegation battle this year, and I think the top teams they're kind of more predictable at the moment, with Man United just being a lot poorer than everyone else.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
that's interesting.
yeah, that we'll end the video here. We'll try and do another. Maybe if you guys comment down and see if you want to keep our fantasy team, we'll show you guys next time. But we're keeping it, trying to be a little bit shorter for you guys because I know last one was 60 minutes. This one is gonna be about 20 minutes. So thank you guys for watching, and we'll catch you next time next week.